Welcome to Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church's online worship. I'm John Howard, and my pronouns are he and him. I serve as a member of the congregation's Board of Trustees. We are a freely gathered, open, welcoming community supported by your contributions, which can be made with the donate button on our website, by going to our Breeze program if you are a member, or by mailing your check to 524 Allen Avenue, Portland, Maine. Please note if the donation is your pledge or a gift to our Share the Plate. Our Share the Plate for February is the Ecology School in Saco. In 2020, the Ecology School celebrated the opening of its new 205-acre campus, River Bend Farm, which features a dining common and dormitory space. The school offers opportunities to explore Maine's ecosystems, sustainable living practices, and serves as a model of conservation in action. This was nominated by our member, John Painter. To learn more about this program, please go to our website and click on Share the Plate under the slideshow. You are invited today to join us February 7th at 10:45 a.m. for our congregational conversation and coffee hour. This Zoom link can be found on our website and order of service. To learn more about Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church, go to our website at A2U2.org.
Hello, I am Rick Kimball and I welcome you to today's Social Justice Service, a time for celebrating our productive past and then turning to face the challenges and the opportunities of our world's troubled present. Some years ago, A2U2 earned a reputation as the social action church and the National Unitarian Universalist Association presented us the Bennett Award, which says, in recognition of their outstanding efforts for social justice work. Now, some of the photos to be seen today show our members in action during those early years. But what have we done since then, through the terms of 3 settled and 2 interim ministers? And what will we do next to create a better world? Well, this service will respond to those questions. Again, welcome.
We are marching in the light of love. 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 We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of love. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of love. We are singing 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 in the light of love. We are singing, singing, we are singing, singing, we are singing in the light of love. We are singing, singing, we are singing, singing, we are singing in the light of love. We are dancing 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 in the light of love. We are dancing, dancing, we are dancing, dancing, we are dancing in the light of love. We are dancing, dancing, we are dancing, dancing, we are dancing in the light of love. We are walking 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 in the light of love. We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of love. We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of love. Ooh.
Good morning, I'm Julie Harrison. Today's chalice lighting words are by David Breenan. We light this chalice remembering and honoring our own tradition and celebrating the rich diversity of traditions among us. As we search for justice, meaning, and purpose, may we remember that justice, meaning, and purpose live first in deeply listening to one another.
Hi, my name is Tegan, and I am a member of the senior youth group at A2U2. In today's Time for All Ages, I'm going to share with you a story about an organization called Furniture Friends. Has your family ever moved to a new house or apartment? Or have you ever helped a friend move? Think about how much work it is to move your belongings from one place to another. Boxes need to be packed, furniture carried up and down stairs, then everything needs to be unpacked and organized in your new home. Think about how exciting it is to start a new life in a new home with all of the things you need to feel comfortable. Now, imagine you are moving into a new home, but you don't have many belongings. Imagine you don't have any furniture at all. Not a bed to sleep on, or a table to eat at, or a dresser to put your clothes in. That doesn't exactly sound very comfortable, does it? It may be hard to believe, but this is a reality for many families right here in and around Portland. There are so many reasons why a family might find themselves moving into a new home without furniture. Some families move from faraway countries, fleeing danger, and they can't bring anything with them. Some are homeless for a period of time and living with a friend or in a homeless shelter. Some are moving into their own home for the very first time and can barely have enough money to buy food, let alone go furniture shopping. About 9 years ago, a member of our church, Cush Anthony, figured out that there were a lot of people who had perfectly good furniture that they didn't need anymore. So he created Furniture Friends, a place where people could drop off their perfectly good but unwanted furniture to make it available for people who needed it but couldn't afford to buy any. Furniture Friends has provided much needed furniture to hundreds of families in Greater Portland. Delivering furniture to people in their new homes requires a lot of labor, so Furniture Friends needs a lot of volunteers. Those of us in Senior Youth Group are perfect for this because we are young and strong. We arrive at the enormous warehouse full of couches, tables, beds, chairs, lamps, you name it, and help load the furniture onto trucks and deliver it to very grateful folks around Portland. I like volunteering for Furniture Friends because I like seeing how everyone we deliver to is so happy after they get their new furniture, and they are very grateful to us. It's amazing how helpful Furniture Friends can be to people in our community who are beginning the process of rebuilding their lives.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah.
In 2004, my late husband Jim and I were looking for a church that valued social justice, and we learned about Allen Avenue while volunteering at the Preble Street Soup Kitchen, where we prepared and served food for 400 people. The first thing we did after arriving at the church was join the Social Action Committee, finding others with a like passion. We were then approached by Don and Hilda Nicole. Would we like to go and see a food pantry that the church supported with food, money, and people? I am the operations manager right now, coordinating our many volunteers, 20% of whom are from A2U2, including Sue Butler, one of our valuable shoppers. One passion of Jim's was the need for healthcare for everyone, and he, Marilyn McWilliams, and I all served on the main All Care board. A bumper sticker. Watch for a chance to help us get a related issue about this on the upcoming statewide ballot. Barbara Croswell attended local NAACP meetings and learned that we were going to create a Portland Freedom Trail. Would I like to join her? I did. Granite posts recognize important places on the peninsula where escaping slaves were assisted to continue their journey out of the country. Our church provided the bulk of the docents on the opening day celebration. On a related note, Leo Barrington was responsible for urging the church to get a banner for Black Lives Matter. Besides our regular participation in the Gay Pride Parade, our church was an important force behind marriage equality. Bumper stickers designated by us were seen around the state, ours being the first in the country to adopt equal marriage through the ballot. Sally Breen was a longtime chair and social action devotee. She coordinated our acceptance by the A2U2 as a green sanctuary. As a spinoff, Harold McWilliams chaired a Green Earth Committee for a number of years, and he'll tell us more about that effort.
The Green Earth Committee was a subcommittee of social action that was dedicated to educating our congregation about environmental issues and providing opportunities for them to get involved in practical actions that would promote the health and sustainability of the earth. One thing was to promote energy conservation. We brought in speakers, we prepared informational handouts, and we promoted practical ways that church members could conserve energy in their own homes. One of these projects was window dressers.
I got into window dressers because of Harold. Harold, I don't know how you got together with the guys up in Lincolnville, but he and maybe a couple other people got the people who started window dressers to come down and do a presentation at church one Sunday afternoon. And it looked interesting to me, so I sat in on it and I said, put my name down. John Burdick and I pretty much took up the banner of window dressers and ran with it for a number of years.
Working with the Buildings and Grounds Committee of the church, we made sure that the church was recycling and composting to the extent possible. And we organized the Clink program for collecting returnable bottles and making sure they got out of the waste stream. This earned about $700 a year for the church during its heyday. For several years, the committee had a green table at the annual holiday fair where we sold green items and reusable shopping bags made by Elizabeth Oatley, like this. And as you can see, it publicized the church as well. Delene Purley and Sally Breen conducted some surveys at the local grocery stores to find out the extent of use of recyclable bags, reusable bags.
Sally and I sat in our cars and watched people coming out. And we counted the percent of the people who came out with reusable bags versus the plastic bags versus the paper bags. And then we totaled it all up, took the percent, and went in and talked to the manager.
It's kind of like it was an outreach. It's much in the same way that 30 years ago, we started a food co-op, and that was started out of the Social Action Committee. It's still there after 30 something, I think it's 32 years, that it's still there and half members of the church and the others are not. They're friends. They come. They feel like they're part of the church, and we think of them as members. But
We really started that? This church started the food co-op? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Oh, yeah. It's the Allen Avenue Food Co-op, A2U2 Food Co-op.
Members of the Green Earth Committee and others formed the environmental steering group to help the church carry out the plan for buildings and grounds renewal. And during 2015, the church actually raised $270,000 to support this effort.
in 2013, not only did the board support and vote to have this effort, this 3-year program, but the whole church membership was behind it, thus raising that much money. And we had a permaculture course that was offered, and that too incorporated not just our members, but also the community people as well.
And the fact that so many members of the church picked up whatever bits and pieces of that permaculture and started putting them into their own gardens and their own homes. I mean, it's just, it's something we did for the church, but it's spread out into the community. And then our neighbors ask us, what are you doing in your yard? And it spreads further.
Holly's energy of working on the grounds and improving it, and she is an example of what so many of us talk about, but don't always do.
Showing
And
up.
she gets the rest of the people in the church doing it too. So, it's
Including the
important that
kids.
she be here.
And it illustrates an important point that we've learned about social action over the years, and that is that it always takes one or two people deciding, I'm going to take this on, and deciding to do it and leading the effort.
One of the reasons I stayed in this church was because for me, being a Unitarian Universalist is putting faith in action. And that's what we do. That's just what we do. Bringing returnable bottles to church and dumping them in the back of, I forget whose pickup truck it was. Having rolling bins in the back of the sanctuary every week where people could drop off cans of soup and boxes of cereal that either Delene or I would haul over to Project Feed. I'm available. It's on my calendar.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can't wait to look at this. I might just send the whole file to Harold and say, well, you've got time on your hands. How would you like to edit this? No.
How to.
Come gather round people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. But the times, they are a-changin'. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times, they are changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he who gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside raging, it'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. The times, they are a-changing. Mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Old road is rapidly aging, please get out of the new one if you can lend your hand. The times, they are a-changing. It is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times, they are changing. Times, they are a-changin'.
Good morning. My name is Carol Larson. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I speak to you today on Wabanaki land. I am the immediate past chair of social justice here at Allen Avenue and the congregational liaison to MUSAN, the Maine UU State Advocacy Network. In March of 2017, the hiring of a white minister as leader of the Southern District of the Unitarian Universalist Association over Christina Rivera, a religious educator and a person of color, sparked a firestorm of controversy. Ultimately, UUA President Peter Morales and other top leadership resigned, and a lengthy period of introspection and reorganization at the national level followed. The report of the UUA Commission on Institutional Change states, 1. Unitarian Universalists continue to repel many of the people who would otherwise provide the resources to fuel our continued growth. 2. The work of becoming more equitable, inclusive, and diverse within our congregations is justice work. If we cannot do this well, we cannot be effective as justice partners. And 3, many of our congregations' inability to address issues of inclusion, equity, and diversity contributes to dwindling membership and participation. We have heard this morning only few of the many achievements of members of this congregation in the past. We have had amongst us some remarkable and incredibly special human beings. Betsy Parsons, Sally Breen, Cush Anthony, Jim Purley, the list is long. As we navigate this period of uncertainty in our denomination and in our country, it is my fervent hope that in the coming months we do the hard work to bring truth to the statement proudly proclaimed on our sanctuary wall that we at Allen Avenue celebrate diversity. The new face of social justice work involves greater engagement with the UUA, openness to examine our own white supremacist practices and ideas, and willingness to risk collaboration and interaction with other faith groups and with other UU congregations here in Maine in a united campaign for racial justice for all of our people. May it be so.
Good morning, I'm Mary Michaels. I'm reading a poem by Teresa I. Soto, To the People Who Have Mistaken Freedom for Liberation. To be free, you must embrace the breadth of your own existence without apology, even if they try to take it from you. You must know not that you can do whatever you want. You are not a kudzu vine eating entire hillsides for the purpose of feeding your own lush life. You must know instead that inside you are entire universes, milky blue, magenta, and gold, expanding. But to actually be free, you must know that you must fight for entire universes inside of everyone else. Being free is not a license, but a promise.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feel We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
So, as we've been hearing about, our church has an incredibly rich history of social justice work. And as we look to the future of social justice in our church, it's really exciting to see that there are so many new initiatives and new people getting involved in social justice work. And so with that, I will pass it over to Elizabeth to tell us about her work in the Family Promise program.
Okay. Well, Family Promise is a program that got started that takes 12 different churches in the area that each host a family, an immigrant family that's homeless. The one requirement is they have to have a child, and they stay at the church. We feed them breakfast, we feed them supper, and we hang out with them, and we make sure there's stuff for them to do, that there's a space that they can stay in. And people have just been so good at Allen Avenue about bringing food, bringing supplies. And we have this whole setup. I do the downstairs part of like storing all the chairs that we bring out to make a living room, and storing the supplies for food. And what it lets me do is be in touch with somebody who's from another country, who's from totally different culture, may or may not speak English. We've had Portuguese speaker, we've had people speaking tons and tons of different languages, Spanish and French, but also lots and lots of African languages. And the things that they do and the ways that they cope just astonish me. They're just so humbling, because I don't know what I would do if I was in their situation. It really widens my world. So I don't know, what do you do, Danielle? What do you do? You've been doing something recently for Family Promise, right?
Yes, so I have been mentoring one of the kids from one of the Family Promise families. So her family, there's 6 kids, and it's a single mother. And she's 15, a sophomore in high school. And so her primary language, her first language is Portuguese. So one of, sort of my goals with mentoring her is to help her with her English speaking skills and just getting her more comfortable with the language, just having like one-on-one conversations with her. So we meet about once a week or so, and sometimes in person, sometimes over Zoom. COVID makes it a little difficult, but it's an opportunity for her to have someone around her age in the area to connect with. I sort of help her navigate high school, which is just a crazy time for anyone, and even more so for an immigrant family that doesn't have a lot of the context for what you need to know for high school, on top of the fact that she's having to do online learning right now. So she's especially isolated from her classmates and from her friends. So I think it's a really good, opportunity for her to have this sort of connection in the area. A learning experience for me as well. Now I have this opportunity to learn about her background and her specific struggles in a very personal way. It's such a fun time. She's so fun to talk to. And, the conversation is a little stilted sometimes, but like we get through it. And just learning about like her interests and like the food she makes with her family. And I tell her about my family, and it's a really unique opportunity for both of us. And I know that there's a couple other, youths in the area from A2U2 who are also doing this mentoring. And it's a really cool way for, people in like senior youth group and maybe in the middle school group to get involved with this, because I don't know, it's really helpful for them and it's a great learning experience.
It's really needed. It's really crucial for them.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get back to having families in the church again. It's such a great program. Thank you guys. So Jamie, do you want to tell us a little bit about your project?
This is the fourth year that I have organized the A2U2 blood drive. So when I joined the RE committee, I sort of had this idea of creating the blood drive as being part of the programming for how kids can get involved in social justice work and support work. And so at that time, when I brought it up to the RE at that point, she was a little uncertain how that would work. And so so I sat down with my husband and we sort of created this month-long program to do with the green team, which is like our first and second graders. And it was all about them going out and recruiting members of the church and learning about blood drives and learning about who the recipients are of the blood that's donated, and creating thank you letters. And then the big piece that on the day of the blood drive, if their parent or a family member or friend donated, that they would come and then spend that hour that their parent was donating helping at the registration table and walking donors to the bus and giving out the thank you cards. For me, the best part of this has been being able to turn this into a project where the kids of the church are involved and enthusiastic about it. Because when you think about social justice work and all of the seed planting that goes along with that, my plug is that the next one, our fourth annual one, is coming up here in March 20th, this Saturday. And if you'd like to sign up, just go to redcrossblood.org or send me an email and I can get you signed up.
The second year was so cool because all the second graders had already done it once. And they were like, oh yeah, well, this is really easy. You just do this and you just do that. And it was like, oh, wow, these guys are going to carry this with them for a long time.
Now we're going to hear from John, who's going to talk about UU the Vote.
I'm not a young person, but I'm also sort of the future because I'm a beginner at this. I've been on the sidelines with social justice most of the time. I may not have gone to GA last year, except that it was going to be virtual, so I didn't actually have to go get a hotel and drive all the way down to Rhode Island. And as a result, I was acquainted with UU the Vote. Now, our president of UUA, Susan Frederick Gray, launched this. She feels very strongly about it. Back in 2016, after the election, a lot of UU people were in shock. And what this led the denomination to do was to figure out that we had to have some structure in place long term. And I, as a member of the board, was asked to be a liaison with our local Maine advocacy group, MUSAN. It also gets me connected with people in other churches all over the state and organizations all over the country, because one of the ways they wanted to do UU the Vote was to do it in collaboration. This is not a top-down thing. This is something that is reaching out to organizations that are already in this kind of work. In particular, the Maine League of Women Voters are partners with us, and the Poor People's Campaign and the Election Defenders. MUSAN, they're really looking for more people from every congregation to link up with this whole effort. So the future, because of COVID and because of all these virtual meetings we're having, and because we're getting to share our church with other churches around the country, we're really in a lot better position to collaborate and to learn from each other and to get to be friends with people who we wouldn't normally have even met. And that's why I'm excited about the work I've been doing with this.
It's great work. I was a little bit involved with UU the Vote, and you feel like you're part of something really big. All right, well, thank you everybody for your good work and for showing up here tonight.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Our closing words are by Maya Angelou. Lift up your faces, you have a piercing need for the bright morning dawning for you. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived. But if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Lift up your eyes upon the day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream.